Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ben on Sports. And as you can probably guess, it's Wednesday. It means it's time for another episode of the NFL Weekly Prediction and Preview Series. Already halfway through the NFL season. Well, I guess we will be after this week. This is week 9, 18 weeks in the season. I feel like I said this last year. This NFL season is flying by. You can definitely tell that the NFL is the shortest professional sports season in North America. Without further ado, let's review last week's games. Chargers and Vikings. Chargers blow out Minnesota. Minnesota hopefully has JJ McCarthy coming back this week. Carson Wentz got hurt. Now he's going under surgery. The Vikings, I think, largely just need to get healthy. The Chargers were healthy. They got healthy this week, and it showed up in a big way, or at least more healthy this week. They're still waiting for some running backs, but receiving core is healthier, offensive line is healthier, defensive line is healthier, and it paid massive dividends. Chargers blowing out the Vikings. I may have underestimated how good a healthy Chargers team is, and because of that, I picked up a loss to start on Thursday Night Football. I have a Thursday Night Football monkey on my back, guys. I think this is the 4th Thursday Night Football game in a row I have missed. I'm going to need to clean up my primetime form to get back into this season. Moving on to Sunday, the Bengals were up multiple possessions on the Jets in the fourth quarter late in the game, and the Jets fight all the way back on the road, go for 2 for one of their last touchdowns, win this game by a point to get their first win of the season and give the Bengals a loss. 39-38, that's pretty typical for a Bengals game. They are always playing high-scoring shootouts. The Jets find a way to score just enough points. A game where I feel like the Bengals should have had it wrapped up and they just choked it away because that defense is bad and the offense just had a couple bad possessions. And for the Bengals, sometimes that is all it takes. Who did I pick? I did pick the Bengals. I'm starting off 0-2. Not a great start. Ravens over Bears. I thought Lamar Jackson was going to play. I didn't do the thing where I was like, oh, if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, they lose. I was confident in the Ravens either way. Lamar Jackson ended up not playing. There's some controversy around that, but it doesn't matter. Ravens win by 2 touchdowns, 30-16. Ravens maybe are on the way to getting their season back on track. Bears lost to a good team without their starting quarterback. Who did I pick? I did pick the Ravens, getting on the board with a win. And one of the more surprising games of the week, the Falcons and the Dolphins in Atlanta. Falcons, number 1 pass defense in the NFL. Miami likes to pass it. And Miami came out. Granted, Atlanta was missing Drake London, Kirk Cousins, and Michael Penix. Yes, you would rather have Michael Penix starting, and Kirk Cousins didn't look good for portions of that game. But I also think Michael Penix hasn't been this fantastic quarterback either. I mean, the Falcons are a run-first team, and the story to me is that the Falcons couldn't run the ball. Miami out-physicaled and out-toughed a okay, I can't tell if Atlanta's good or bad Atlanta team. Still a game the Falcons should have won. They should have, and based on how Miami had looked coming into this game, they should have been at least able to score a bunch of points. They weren't. Miami picks up a win. Are they, 2 times since COVID, Miami has started off 1-7, 2-6, and then came all the way back to win 8-9 games. I don't think they're going to do that this year. The easier part of their schedule was supposed to be this front half. Maybe they can. Who knows? They do have a coach and a GM that are fighting for their jobs. Atlanta, not a great game for them. They needed to win this game. Atlanta probably not making the postseason. They're just way too inconsistent. Who did I pick? I did pick the Falcons, dropping me to 1-3. Gosh, guys, every time I think I got it turned around. Panthers and Bills, not much to say about this one. The Bills are a really good team. The Panthers are not, and they were starting a backup quarterback. Bills dismantle the Panthers, just as I predicted, getting this game correct. This was an interesting game. I thought the 49ers were going to be able to play a little bit closer, but that Texans defense showed up. It showed out strong, and you could kind of tell that the 49ers offense maybe wasn't ready for it. The 49ers offense still having trouble running the ball. Even though the 49ers have some injuries on the defensive side, maybe take this with a grain of salt, but the Texans looked better offensively. It looks like they're slowly getting better offensively. Maybe that means they can claw their way back into the playoff race in a crowded AFC. Texans taking the win over the 49ers, and this is another game that I got wrong. Meaning, in the first 5 games, I have picked one correctly. 1-4. Best case scenario was 9-4 here. That's not very good. Let's see what happens. Eagles over the Giants. Eagles got some favorable calls, in my opinion, especially that big tush push with Jalen Hurts. That obviously should have been ruled a fumble, but it wasn't. Eagles win big. That is the main story. 38-20. Again, Giants, they had a nice stretch. I still think maybe they mess up one or two more team seasons, or they win a couple more games. Still don't think this team is actually good. And now they're missing 2 key offensive playmakers. Their defense isn't getting a lot of stops. Good fight for parts of this game, but the Eagles win by 18, just as I thought they would. Patriots and Browns, not much to say. This was a good team versus a bad team. The Browns kept it close early on the strength of their defense, but their offense eventually gave way. And the New England Patriots were able to use that to their advantage, scoring 32 points. Again, good team versus bad team, and the Patriots eventually took it to the Browns. Drake May, early MVP candidate in my book, picked this game correctly. Saints and Bucks. I honestly am so impressed with this Saints defense. Their offense is not very good. The Bucks held them to 3 points as they should have, but the Saints offense, their defense, I think, is pretty good. Bucks only scoring 23. Bucks still need to get healthy offensively. But not much else to say. 2 teams going in opposite directions, and I picked the Buccaneers, so I got this game right. Colts with the best record in the NFL against the Titans, tied for now the worst record in the NFL, and the Colts just put it on 38-14. The Colts offense is so good, so efficient. Their offensive line is incredible. Jonathan Taylor is incredible. The Colts really took it to the Titans this week. Not even close, just like it should have been. Colts maybe have a real possibility of ending up with the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Who did I pick to win this game? I picked the Colts. I don't even think that was much of a question. I got it right. Moving on to the Broncos and the Cowboys. The Cowboys have that number 1 offense, but their defense is so bad. It gave up 44 points to the Broncos, and the Broncos defense is pretty good. So the Cowboys, for the first time in a while, haven't been able to score their way to keep it close. This Cowboys team is just going to be so up and down. So can we outscore people because the defense is so bad with the offense being so good? And Broncos did what I would say they're supposed to. I mean, giving up 24 points isn't awful, especially against such a good offense. And they scored a lot of points as they should have. Just as I predicted, the Broncos pick up the win. Steelers and Packers, a 10-point spread. The Steelers defense looks bad. They desperately need to find form, or they're going to have a rough time the rest of the way this season. It's going to be, the Steelers offense isn't bad, but I don't think they're so good that they're going to be able to outscore teams consistently. This Packers team is really good, figures to potentially be a Super Bowl contender. Steelers picking up the primetime loss Sunday Night Football at home. At least the Packers are a better team, even if you want to see the Steelers win that game. Who did I pick? I did pick the Packers. And rounding out the week was Kansas City and Washington. Close game in the first half, but eventually you could tell Washington was missing their quarterback, and that defense just couldn't stop Kansas City forever. The defense is not the strength of the Commanders team, and eventually the Chiefs were able to score some points and utterly dominate the second half, give the Chiefs a 21-point victory, and the Chiefs seem to have got it turned around for the time being. Who did I pick? I did pick the Chiefs. So if you put that all together, after a 1-4 start, I was able to get the last 8 games of the week right. Rough start, good finish. Finishing the week 9-4. That's not the pace I needed. I needed at least 10-3, maybe even 11-2 this week. I'm still at 66% at 80-40-1. I'm gonna again. I don't think I'm necessarily out, but I need to get hot and I need to do it fast. Last week of the first half, we'll see where we are after the first half of the season. and what kind of progress I have made towards the goal after this week. So without further ado, let's get into picking. There are 14 games this week, 4 teams on bye. Let's get into it. Thursday night football at 8:15, Miami, their second Thursday night football game of the year. This time they are at home playing the Baltimore Ravens, two teams that are not having the seasons they feel like they should have. One at 2-6, one at 2-5. The loser, I mean, if these teams aren't eliminated yet, the loser of this game most certainly is. This is kind of a loser leaves town match in terms of the playoffs. Maybe the Ravens can rally with their back half, but it's going to be even harder. This is a game I feel like the Ravens need to win. Miami feels like they need to win it, at least the people playing for their jobs, coaching for their jobs. So maybe more stakes than you realize for a 2-6 and 2-5 team. But Baltimore seems like they're getting everybody back at once and are 7.5-point favorites. And when anytime you see that total getting over 50, they think a lot of points are going to be scored. And I don't necessarily disagree in this one. Keys to the game. If you're Miami, the defense needs to build on last week's success. The defense that showed up last week is different than the defense that has been present the whole season. And it wasn't awful against Cleveland the week before. The offense essentially, in my book, gave up 14 points at least against the Browns. So maybe this Miami defense is starting to find their stretch. Last week was obviously their best week. But they're playing a real offense with Lamar Jackson this week. The last 2 weeks, while the defense has been better, they haven't been playing, the greatest teams on the face of planet Earth. This Ravens offense, now that it's supposed to be healthy, is going to be really good, or at least you figure it should be. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and this defense is definitely going to be tested this week. Can they pass that test? Can they build on last week's success? They need to run the ball like last week. I like this Miami offense when they're running the ball. They used all 3 backs. It was the first time Jalen Wright was seen. I like Ollie Gordon as a physical back, and everybody knows what Devon Achane can do. Can Miami's offensive line find the same success they did last week and run the ball against this Ravens team? It would certainly make Tua's life easier. And then Miami needs to play turnover-free. I think when they play turnover-free, their offense is going to be able to score eventually. It's when they turn the ball over and they get behind that I think they really start to struggle and they have to get off schedule. Off script, maybe is a better way to phrase that. Can Miami play turnover free? If you're the Ravens, is Lamar actually playing? I think all the stuff says he's supposed to. After last week's debacle, I think that's an important question to answer because it's a different game if he doesn't play. But if Lamar is actually playing, I think the Ravens probably win this game. They need to get ahead early. This Miami team wants to run the ball. They look like a better team when they're able to consistently run the ball. They need to get ahead early and make Miami feel like they have to pass it to stay involved. I also think the Ravens need to continue to find defensive success. I know that the numbers are still not great, really, for either of these teams defensively. They both have seemed like they have played better as of late. Can the Ravens continue to find defensive success? They did it last week. They did it against the Rams a couple games ago. They had a bye mixed in. Can this Ravens defense find success to shut down Miami? I think the unit I feel the most confident about in this game is the Ravens offense. I think the Ravens, if it's in Baltimore, I think this game is a blowout. I still think this game might be a blowout just because the Ravens are getting everybody back. They're ready to make that playoff push, and I think they're going to just come out hungry and ready to prove it. Give me the Ravens to win this one. The Patriots and the Falcons. Patriots hosting the Falcons as 6.5-point favorites at Foxborough. Keys to the game, if you're the Patriots, run the ball first. This Atlanta passing, yes, they gave up 4 passing touchdowns last week, but they only gave up 205 yards, and they got some good pressure. If you're the Patriots, I think you need to find success in the run game. You have a trio of backs. Can you run the ball well so you don't have to throw into a really good pass defense? If you can you stop the Falcons' run game? The last couple of games, the Falcons haven't been able to run the ball as easily with Bijan. That's what they want to do. Rotate in Bijan Robinson, rotate in Tyler Allgeier. They want to be a run-first team. This Patriots defense is better run defense team than a better pass defense team. Can you shut down this Falcons run game? Because the last couple of teams that have been able to really, really hold this offense down. And don't have a letdown. and not necessarily saying they're in a letdown spot, but this Patriots team is has been really good this year. They have looked like one of the better teams in the NFL, one of the better teams in the AFC for sure. Don't have a letdown. You're having a great season, and sometimes with young players, maybe you get a little bit too excited. You think you're a little bit too good. You get too full of yourself. The Patriots have to avoid having a letdown spot because this is a Falcons team that will take advantage if that is the case. And if you're the Falcons, commit to the run game. It might struggle a little bit at first, but your best chance at winning this game, especially if some of your the injuries from last week are present this week, they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to find ways to open up holes against this Patriots run defense. Commit to the run. And again, is London out of this game, or do they need because if he is, they're going to need to find somebody respectable in the pass game. I think they kind of struggled with that a little bit last week. Kyle Pitts was heavily involved in that pass game. But if London is out and the Patriots don't buy that you can beat them with any credible weapons in the pass game, then you're really going to have a tough time running the ball, and that is essential for the Falcons. And their pass defense needs to show up. Drake May has had some pretty good games this year, but I think this pass defense can take away a lot of the Patriots' pass offense. So can Atlanta's pass defense show up and make New England run the ball instead of throwing the ball? I think all in all, the Patriots are a little bit more healthy. I think the Patriots are just a little bit better in a lot of areas, and I think the Patriots win this game at home. Not much to say about this one. A good team against a bad team. The bad team is at home. Chargers 9.5 point favorites in Nashville against the Titans. Let's get into the keys to the game. If you were the Titans, you need to force turnovers. I say it for them every week because that is the only way that an upset happens. Or not the only way, but it's one of the main ways. They need to force turnovers and keep the Chargers offense off the field. And this Tennessee defense is a better unit than their offense is. And just like I've had a couple of weeks, better red zone conversion rate. They need to score touchdowns instead of field goals. They're not going to get a lot of opportunities to score in the red zone against this Chargers team, so they need to convert when they do get down there. And then maybe more Tyjae Spears. He had an explosive play last week. This is a Tennessee team looking for weapons. I think Spears could be one. Maybe get him more involved in the run game and the pass game. If you were the Chargers, dominate on offense, score a bunch of points, make it hard. This Tennessee offense is one of the 2 or 3 worst in the NFL. Make them have to score the ball with a young rookie quarterback. And I think against this defense, it's not great. It's not horrific either, but I think the Chargers, especially with their health, should be able to move it quite easily. They need to continue to blend the rush and the pass. I think one thing the Chargers have done well is being able to stay balanced, run it when they want to, pass it when they want to, even with their first and second string running back out. I think it is something they have done well. And then they need to get after the QB. The Titans' run game has been so-so. They rely on Cam Ward, their rookie, which is not always a great sign to move the ball. Get after the quarterback and get him to the ground. Who do I think wins this game? I'm going to go with the Chargers. They haven't been great going to the East Coast, even against bad teams this year. But I'm still going to pick them to win this game. Sunday, 1 o'clock, the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Chicago Bears. I might flip-flop on this one. I don't know. Chicago is 2.5 point favorites on the road. The Bengals' keys to the game. You need to keep chucking with Flacco. I think that's the only way the Bengals win. They can't run the ball. They don't stop anybody. You just have to hope Flacco scores enough points throwing to those great wide receivers. That's going to be my number one key, it seems like, frequently. Can Trey Hendrickson carry the defense by himself? This is a Bears team that loves to pass the ball. Can Trey Hendrickson wreak enough carnage in the pass rush by himself to get some stops, to maybe even force a turnover or two? Can Trey Hendrickson carry this defense by himself? And they have to keep the Bears under 30. I think this Bears pass defense can be had a little bit this week for the Bengals. I think the Bengals should be able to score a little bit. Can the defense hold the Bears to under 30? That feels like a very important number for Cincinnati. When they hold teams under it, I feel like they win a lot. When they can't, they don't. Look out for that this week. And if you are the Bears, your passing game should be able to work easily. This is not, the Bears like to pass the ball. They're good at it. They have plenty of weapons. The Cincinnati defense is not very good. Get that passing game working early. It should be quite successful. Make the Bengals. I don't know why this is so. It should say run the ball. This Bengals rushing offense is not very good. I think the Bears would rather than run it. Um, I don't, and I think if the Bears are going to be had anywhere against the Bengals, it's going to be passing the ball. So make the Bengals throw the ball and beat you on the ground because I don't think they're capable of it. And get off the field on third down. This Bengals team will score a lot. You need to get their offense off the field when you have the chances to. So if you're the Bears, you need to find ways to get off the field on third down, something that they haven't been necessarily the best at this season. This game is a toss-up. Sometimes I think Bengals, sometimes I think Bears. I might update this at the end, but for now I'm going to say Bears. But I can really, really see a situation where the Bengals, who are a very streaky team, win this game. Sunday, 1 o'clock, the Steelers and the Colts, a top 5 game of the week. The Colts are 3.5-point favorites in Pittsburgh. Let's get into it. Pittsburgh, the defense needs to get back to being a Pittsburgh defense. I think this defense has been sad. I think it's been pathetic a lot of the years. It has not been up to the standard that the Steelers expect. That defense is going to have to do something this week or they're going to have a tough time. Can you find gaps in the O-line? To that point, this is a really, really good Colts offensive line. You'd like to think the Steelers have good pieces on the defensive line. Can they find gaps in this O-line? Can they get to the quarterback? Can they stop Jonathan Taylor up enough? Both of those kind of go hand in hand. I don't know if the Steelers can or not, but that will be looming large for them if they want to win. And I think they're going to need to score a lot because I think even if their defense can find some success, I still think this Colts offense that's incredibly efficient will find ways to score. So can the Steelers score a lot of points in response to the Colts? I don't know, but this offense is efficient especially when they get into the red zone. But I think they're kind of average to slightly above average, not great. So they're going to need to find a way to put some points on the board. If you are the Colts, have a balanced offensive approach. I keep saying it for them. I think that's when they're at their best. They run the ball first, use that run to set up the play action in the pass game. That's when they're at their best, and they've been at their best a lot this season. Time-consuming drives. If you go on efficient time-consuming drives, which I feel like the Colts are good at, just chunk play, go all the way down the field, 8 to 10 plays. Just take time off the clock, milk the clock. Colts are very good at it. You do it. It's very hard for teams to consistently respond when they don't have possession or a clock. Do it. That's got to be the playbook this week for the Colts. And hold down the Steelers offense. Again, the Steelers offense has some games where they've scored well. I think that's going to have to be the case here, but I think this Colts defense is going to be able to hold them down enough where they're not going to be able to keep up quite enough. Give me the Colts to win this game on the road. Another 1 o'clock game. Sunday, MetLife Stadium. The Giants are hosting a banged-up 49ers team who are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Let's get into the keys. If you are the Giants, run the ball first. I know you're missing Cam Skattebo, but this 49ers middle is kind of banged up. The linebacker core is banged up a little bit. I think also they can maybe give you some looks to confuse your young quarterback. If you were the Giants, run the ball first, run it well. You still have some good running backs, even without Skattebo. Maybe it's time for Tracy to take over. Take away the pass game. This 49ers offense has really, really struggled to run the ball. I think this Giants team, not great defensively. If they can focus on one thing this week, take away the pass game, make the 49ers beat you on the ground. And you can't let this turn into a shootout. The 49ers, you can't let them score a whole bunch of points and stress your offense out trying to do the same. Try and keep the 49ers down a little bit. Again, make them run it, and then you should be able to stay close enough where you can take advantage of a good crowd late. Because quite frankly, 2.5 points is not that big of a spread, and I expect the Giants to keep it close close most of the way. But I do think the 49ers are a better overall team. So don't let it turn into a shootout. 49ers, limit the turnovers, continue to do so. That's been a problem for them at times this year. That's the best and easiest way to let the Giants get some momentum, get some confidence in this game. Do not turn the ball over. find rhythm in the pass game. Obviously, last week against a good defense, maybe it wasn't as strong as it has been. If you're the 49ers, you need to find your rhythm early and often. This is not a great defense. You should be able to move the ball. And the defense needs to play well enough to hold down a young QB. I know it's banged up and injured. It still shouldn't be awful. Do enough to hold down Jackson Dart, and I think you will have a chance to win this game. And I'm going to take the 49ers to beat the Giants. Another top 5 game of the week. Two great defenses playing in the Texans and the Broncos. 1 o'clock in Houston. Houston is a 1.5 point favorite. If you are Houston, keep building on offense against a good defense. I feel like they've gotten better offensively the last couple of weeks, but they haven't really been playing anybody that has a good defense. This week they're going to play a good defense. Can you do it against a good defense? Can you continue to build momentum offensively against a good defense this weekend? They need to stay balanced. If this Denver team, if you're always in passing situations, I think they're going to pin their ears back, and it's going to be a long day for you. You need to be in situations where you're not predictable, where you can run it and pass it. Stay ahead of the chains. That's the only way I think this offense that has struggled at times can beat a good defense. And then this defense needs to live in the backfield. You need to be blowing up that passing game that the Broncos are going to try. You need to make it hard on them to run the ball. I think this could turn into more of a defensive battle than people expect. So you best not be letting them score. And if you're the Broncos, take advantage of a bad O-line. The weakest positional group in this game is the Texans' offensive line. You have a great defense. If you're Denver, take advantage of that bad offensive line. Get to the quarterback. Don't give them time to throw or take away running room. This offense can't wait to get going. This is a good defense. The more confidence they get, the better they're going to be. You need to throw a punch early and make them respond. They cannot wait to get going in this game if you are the Broncos offense. And then win a battle of bad defenses. You may think, man, you just been praising them. Correct. I don't think these defenses are bad. I think they're actually really, really good. But I mean, like when you're talking about star players, like, yeah, that dude's a bad boy. Like these might be the two best defenses in the NFL. Win a battle of some bad defenses that are just like really, really good. Like bad in a good way, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I should have just said good defenses. I was trying to add a little pizzazz. Win the battle of two excellent defenses. Both of these defenses, again, I think they might be the two best, two top 5 defenses. So the difference there is going to be negligible. I think this is going to be won by the offense that has the most success. And I think the Broncos are a little bit better suited to do so. I think the Broncos get a small upset on the road against the Texans. Another 1 o'clock Sunday game, top 5 game of the week, divisional battle, the Vikings and the Lions, where the Lions are 9.5 point favorites, who just signed another big long-term extension with Aiden Hutchinson. Let's get into it. If you were the Lions, be elite offense in red zone, continue to do that. This Minnesota defense has been pretty good. I mean, last week was an ugly game for them, but other than that, this Minnesota defense has been pretty good. Holds teams down. Be elite in the red zone, score touchdowns, make it hard on Minnesota to keep up. It doesn't matter who Minnesota's quarterback is. This defense needs to make life tough. It should be able to. I know that they have injuries in some spots, and I know that this Minnesota team has good wide receivers, but they should be. I think this defensive front will get into the backfield. I think they should be able to get to the quarterback, shut down the run game, and that's what defensively, the Lions' best path to victory. And then win the red zone battle, force field goals if you're force field goals when the opposing team is in the red zone, and then you need to score touchdowns. Kind of goes along with the first point. You'll trade a touchdown for a field goal on defense every single day, and I think the Lions should be able to succeed. For the Vikings, force turnovers. I think they're going to need some if they want to win this game. I don't think they can go drive for drive head up with Detroit and win. They're going to have to force turnovers and get extra possessions, get good field position. They need to get the ball to their playmakers. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison, Hawkinson's even a weapon in that pass game. The Vikings are going to have to find ways to get the ball to their elite weapons. That's going to be the easiest way for them to consistently move the ball. and win time of possession. The Lions offense, electric offense, can't score if they're not on the field. Take some time off the clock when you're on offense. Let your defense rest up. Keep that offense off the field. Turn it into a battle of possession and time, and maybe you can stay close enough where you can take advantage late. I don't think it happens. I think the Lions win this one and win it comfortably. 1 o'clock Sunday game, Packers and Panthers. Not a lot to say here. Let's get into the keys of the game. Remember, Packers are 13.5-point favorites. I believe that is the biggest favorite of the weekend. And if you are the Packers, get ahead with the pass game. This Carolina team is better against the run than they are against the pass. This Green Bay team can certainly throw the ball. If you're Green Bay, get ahead throwing it with that fantastic pass game and your good quarterback. Bring your stout run defense, regardless of who the quarterback is. This Carolina team is going to want to try and run the ball. Don't let them. You've had a great run defense all year. Continue the theme. And then shut down the Panthers regardless of quarterback. Obviously, you need to shut down the run game, but whether it's Andy Dalton or Bryce Young, you should be able to stop the passing game. They have a couple of weapons in that pass game. Don't let them free and just smother them defensively where even if you do have something off in the offense, it won't matter. If you're the Panthers, you have to stay balanced on offense. You can't let this defense key on any one thing or it's going to be very hard to do what you're trying to do. So if you're the Panthers, you have to stay balanced offensively. Take away something from this Packers team. They can run the ball well. They can throw the ball well. Make them be one-dimensional or at least you can sit on something or, some teams can move the ball one-dimensionally. The Packers might be one of those teams. It would not be surprising. But you have no chance at winning a game if you have a team that's running it for 5 yards a pop and throwing it successfully, right? There's no way. And then force turnovers. Similar thing to the last game I just talked about. Turnovers are one of the major factors in upsets. I think this Panthers team is really, really going to struggle to move the ball. So if they can force turnovers defensively, it can set them up with plus field position, maybe even get a defensive score and keep them in the game. I don't think it happens. I think Green Bay dominates this one, giving them another win. Into the 4 o'clock slate in Las Vegas, Jacksonville is 3.5-point favorites over the Raiders. Keys to the game. If you are the Raiders, stay ahead of the sticks. Don't put your offense in negative positions. Run the ball well. Mix it in with the pass game. Just consistent plays, consistent drives. Play turnover free. Geno Smith has a tendency to have a turnover here and there, whether it's interceptions, whether the team fumbles. Stay turnover free because this Jacksonville defense will force them. And the defense needs to have at least a decent game. This defense, especially the pass defense, has not been all that good. The Raiders need to not let Jacksonville score a whole bunch. Give the offense a chance to win this game. And if you are Jacksonville, take away Brock Bowers. I know they have Jacoby Myers, but I still think Brock Bowers, he's supposed to play in this one, is their best weapon. Take him away. Don't let Brock Bowers beat you in the pass game. They need to be consistent on offense. Jacksonville is so streaky, so up and down on offense. This defense, especially pass defense, can give you a chance to right the ship. Coming off of a bye week, granted, so is Vegas. They're also coming off of a bye week. Can the 49ers stay consistent on offense and put the pressure on the Raiders to score? Defense needs to refine their mojo. I think their defense has been streaky at times, but they've had some games where they look really good, some games they look really bad. Can the defense use this opportunity against not a great offense and not a great quarterback to find some mojo because the Jaguars are in the thick of the playoff race? I think this game could be ugly and not that great, but I do think Jacksonville will find a way to pull it out in the end, but the Raiders should keep it close. 4 o'clock game, Rams coming off of a bye week against the Saints. Rams, 14.5-point favorites. They are the biggest favorites of the weekend by 1 point. Let's get into the keys. Not a lot to say. Very good team against a bad team. Keep Stafford going in the passing game. Yes, you want to be balanced, but this Rams team loves to pass the ball. They've been doing it so well all year. Coming off the bye week, let's keep it going against the Saints. Make life hard on Tyler Show making his first career start. This defense is pretty good. The Saints offense hasn't been good. I don't think changing the quarterback is going to help too much. I think they just lack weapons in a sense. So make life hard on this quarterback. Should make it this defense, I think, should be able to eat this week and then score touchdowns, not field goals. Rams haven't always been great at it this year. This Saints team definitely isn't. Um, even if you don't get a lot of trips, if you score just 3 touchdowns, I think should be enough to beat this Saints team with starting a young quarterback. But in general, score touchdowns instead of field goals. Don't let the Saints keep themselves in it. If you're the Saints, take away the pass game. This Rams team is a pass first team. Don't let them do what they want to do. Take away the pass game. Make them keep it on the ground. On offense, the Saints need to keep things simple. I don't think you want to throw a whole bunch of stuff at a quarterback that's making his first career start on the road against the good team. Keep the offense simple and just try and be efficient in both the pass and the run game. And again, the Saints team likes to run the ball, so run it early and often. That's one way to keep the playbook a little bit more simple. Not that the run game can't be complicated, but it's usually more simple than the pass game. So find some success running the ball early to keep the offense simple for your young quarterback. And I think the Rams are going to be able to impose their will, even if it doesn't happen until the second half. Give me the Rams to win this game. 4 o'clock, maybe the game of the week between the Bills and the Chiefs, two conference foes, all too familiar with each other, always playing each other, always seeing each other in the playoffs. Chiefs are 1.5-point favorites on the road in Buffalo. Let's get into the keys. If you are the Bills, Josh Allen needs to be great. I don't think they can win this game without a great Josh Allen performance. He had a better week last week, although it was against a bad team, and then they kind of slowed up. Can Josh Allen have another fantastic game? He did it against the Ravens, who coming into the season when that game happened were supposed to be one of the biggest contenders in the AFC. Can he do it again against the Chiefs? Run defense needs to step up. This Bills run defense is not good at all. The Chiefs are able to run it. They have a mix of backs they can give it to. This run defense needs to step up and not let the Chiefs get what they want in the run game. And then the Bills need to limit possessions. If you can limit the possessions the Chiefs get, you can limit how much they score, meaning you don't have to score as much. And I think this Bills offense is usually pretty efficient. Lot of important things for the Bills defense this week. That might be the weakest unit out of the both teams' offenses and defenses. If you are the Chiefs, run the ball to set up the pass. You're never not going to be throwing the ball with Patrick Mahomes, but this run defense is weak. You need to take advantage of it, make them overcommit to the run game, and then that should make Patrick Mahomes' life that much easier. If you're the Chiefs, keep scoring points. The offenses look much better. It's looked much more consistent, scoring a lot more. You need to continue to score. They need to continue to be that offense. And I think keeping Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy healthy will help with that. Last, is the defense back? I think the defense was off to a slow start. They struggled a little bit, weren't themselves, but they have been playing much better as of late. Is this defense back? Can they, how good are they going to look against the Bills offense that is much better than some of the ones they've been playing during this resurgence? So is the defense back? That will be answered this week for the Chiefs. Who wins this game? I think it's close. I think it's a classic Bills versus Chiefs matchup, but I think this time the Chiefs get the better of the Bills. Sunday Night Football in Landover, almost in D.C., with the Commanders hosting the Seahawks. Top 5 game of the week. Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites on the road. Let's get into it. If you're the Commanders, run the ball first. They are a run-first offense, regardless of who the quarterback is. They need to run the ball well against Seattle, who does have a pretty good defense. Keep the pass game simple. Don't do anything too complicated, or I think it can lead to turnovers and sacks from the Seattle defense. Literally, even if it's just play action, let's get it to the out, play action to the slant, simple stuff like that. Eventually that defense bites, and then you can get a play over the top. But just keep it simple, run the ball, stay ahead of the sticks, take long drives. I think that's what this offense needs to do. And then most importantly, take away the guy who's been the best receiver in the NFL this season in Jackson Smith-Njigba. Don't let the Seahawks find him a lot, or don't let him be the guy that beats you for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, because you know that Seattle's going to be feeding him the ball. And if you're Seattle, take away the run game. I don't know if Daniels is starting. I don't think it's been confirmed one way or the other. But either way, the strength of this offense, I don't think, is the passing game. Yes, they have Terry McLaurin. Yes, they have Deebo Samuel. Yes, Zach Ertz having a good year. But they want to run the ball first. And I think the Seattle defense is up for the challenge in the pass game. this defense just needs to focus on shutting down the Commanders' run game, get pressure on the quarterback. They've already had some injury problems. Sometimes I think that makes teams a little bit more jumpy. Um, Again, they want to run the ball anyway. Get pressure on the quarterback. I think it will force some mistakes, which in turn leads to turnovers. And diverse offensive approach. This Commanders team isn't great defensively, but I think if they can key in on just stopping the pass or just stopping the run, they can be successful. If the Seahawks, who have had trouble running the ball at times this year, are able to be diverse in their offensive approach, I think it could lead to a lot of points. I think Seattle wins this one, and I think Seattle covers the spread potentially even easily. Monday Night Football is getting my toilet bowl game of the week. I think this is going to be really fun. I think the Cardinals might even be better than the record. I didn't give a toilet bowl game of the week last week, and there's just a lot of mediocre or kind of mid teams in the NFL this year. Teams that aren't awful, but they're probably borderline playoffs at best. I think both of these teams are examples. But this Dallas defense is really, really bad. The offense is really, really good, as I've said repeatedly. Dallas is 2.5-point favorites. But this is getting toilet bowl game of the week because I think it could be really, really fun to watch with a lot of points. But I don't think either team is necessarily particularly good defensively or disciplined. Anyway, let's get into it. Keys to the game. If you're the Cowboys, defense needs to get enough stops. That's number one for them. You know that offense is going to score. Can the defense just be average? Most of the time, the answer to that question is no. Take away the Cardinals in the pass game. If the Cardinals start getting the pass game going, guys, I think the Cardinals can run the ball successfully this week, even without a star running back. But if the Cardinals are able to throw the ball well to all the weapons they have downfield, the Cowboys have no chance at stopping them, and this quickly could turn into a shootout. And then if you're the Cowboys, just keep scoring. I mean, until your defense figures it out, try and make it life easy for them and score a whole bunch of points. If you're the Cardinals, the front seven needs to take away the run game or the pass game, preferably the pass game. That's what Dallas prefers to do. Make them be one-dimensional. Don't let them move the sticks in a variety of ways. Offense needs to get cleaned up a little bit. Find Marvin Harrison. Find Trey McBride if you can. They need to get a little bit healthy. They need to get cleaned up. And Kyler Murray, I think, needs to start this game because I think he could be a definitive factor using his legs against this Cowboys defense. And then I think the Cardinals need to have better late game in execution. I don't think they've always had it this year, and I think it's cost them a lot. I think better late game execution is a key for Arizona. I mean, they're 2-5, and all 5 of their losses are by one possession. Some better late game execution, and they have a much better record. Dallas 2.5-point favorites in prime time, but you know what? While I think this game is high scoring, I don't think that the Cowboys can stop the Cardinals consistently enough. I think that the Cardinals will get just one more stop at the end. I think the Cardinals are going to be able to score. I think they're going to have a big day in the passing game. Give me the Cardinals to win this game and finally execute a late game situation. I think the Cardinals are just a little bit better, and I think I trust their defense to get stops better as well. Cardinals win a close, narrow, exciting Monday Night Football game. That brings me to my lock of the week. I'm still undefeated on locks of the week. This week, my lock of the week is picking the Rams at home over the Saints. Can I stay undefeated in week 9 and be halfway through completing the season with my locks? Remember, I cannot repeat any teams for my locks. So now that I have not used the Rams yet, and this will prevent me from using them the rest of the season. But they are my lock. They are my favorite team out of the teams I have not picked this week. Here is a summary of all my picks, and as you can see, I'm going to stay with the Bengals to beat the Bears. I think the Bears are the better team, but I think they're close enough. The Bengals are at home. I think they're going to be mad about last week. I think the Bengals find a way to score enough points. That game could honestly end up being 40-something to 40-something. But I am going to pick with the Bengals. Everything else I really wasn't flip-floppy on, and it should be the same. But if you need it, here are the summary of my picks as well as my locks. And as you can see, the 4 bye weeks are the Eagles, the Jets, the Bucks, and the Browns. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and I tried to make this one a little bit shorter. Let me know if you like this little bit shorter episode or you want me to go back to the little bit longer episodes. Sometimes I get down tangents and it doesn't matter anyway. But I did intentionally make this one a tad bit shorter, so let me know if you like it. Please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you're doing picking games this week. Follow me on X We're still in the sports eclipse season, all four going on at the same time, but the World Series at most has 3 games left. So that is ending soon. College basketball season starts next Monday, less than a week from now. That's exciting. You guys can be expecting an episode for that. Thank you for taking time out of your days, your weeks, your lives for listening. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your friends, and stay safe in this crazy world. Peace out.